Good evening, everybody. Netherlands 0, Italy 1 in the Nations League. If you're live watching with us right now, make sure you're commenting on the YouTube live stream your thoughts on the game. What did you think of the tactics? What did you think of the game? Was it a boring performance like the Poland game? Or were you happy with some aspects of the game? What did you think of Dwight Lodewijker's decisions on the pitch, his tactics? Are you missing Ronald Koeman? All of these things, let us know what you're thinking in that YouTube live stream right now. You might have noticed it's just me tonight, Michael Statham. Michael Bell usually joins me for these live streams, but he's unable to tonight. But I want to hear your thoughts on the game. So hit us up with your comments down the live stream and I'll put some up on screen. And I'm happy to discuss your thoughts on the game. Of course, after the Netherlands won the Poland game, this was quite a big game to go into. The Dutch would have probably been happy with a draw, I suspect, after such a positive win against Poland. But yeah, it wasn't quite on the cards, was it, tonight, this defeat? I don't think many fans would have expected to lose. Given how conservative the Dutch played against Poland, it looked like they were set to play in the counter-attack again tonight against Italy. But didn't work out, did it? The tactics weren't that positive again. It didn't look like the Netherlands created many opportunities. There weren't many chances at all in the game, were there? Yeah, I must get onto the comments. I can see there's already a few coming up on screen. So again, if you're watching live with us right now, hit us up with your comments. Let us know what you're thinking about that performance. I've had 4 comments in already. Keep them going. So I've had one here saying that we need new wingers. Tonight, of course, Wijnaldum was played on the right and Promes was played on the left, wasn't he? We didn't get to see Bergwijn until an hour's gone. And Van der Beek was taken off. And I actually thought Van der Beek played quite well. He had just had that chance saved, didn't he? That shot that was tipped over. Should he have been given the whole 90 minutes, having not been given too much time against Poland? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, I personally thought that there wasn't too much tonight from Promes. A lot was going from Memphis Depay, wasn't it? But Memphis wasn't really on form tonight. He seemed like he was being a bit selfish and trying to do too much by himself. But is that Memphis' fault, or is that a lack of support that he's got in the team? I had a comment here from Rahi. Need a new bloody manager. Yeah, the Netherlands do, don't they? The Lodewijker is, of course, only a stopgap, and you can see tonight in performances like this that he doesn't quite have that edge that Koeman has. Koeman just seems so wise, isn't he? And Lodewijker isn't quite bringing that. So I think a new manager is needed sooner before or later. But I imagine that will come before the games in October and November. There's a total of 5 games, I believe, still to go in 2020. So lots more football to be played by the Netherlands. But yeah, tonight just wasn't one of those games, was it? Let's have a look at this comment here from Moha. I think we played what we did. I think we played the same way that we did in the Poland match. All players were tired. Very bad tactics and the intermediate coach, Lodewijkers. Wijnaldum again absent. Agreed there. Yeah, Wijnaldum didn't have the best game, did he? Again, a shame that we're not seeing the Wijnaldum that became so good under Koeman. And it begs the question, was this because of Koeman that Wijnaldum's playing so well? But yeah, of course, we haven't seen it in the last 2 games, have we? And yet he's been on the pitch quite a lot of the time. Played a long time on the right wing tonight. What did you think about that? Let us know in the comments. Was Wijnaldum the right choice on that right wing? Should we have seen Bergwijn from the start? I personally thought Bergwijn didn't have a great game against Poland, but scored that pivotal goal that obviously won the match. Let's bring up some more comments. We've got here, mouse down. Italy deservedly won. Too right. Italy did deserve to win tonight. Got no complaints about that. The Netherlands simply weren't good enough, were they? And I think it's true to say, let me know if you disagree, of course, but I think it's true to say that had Koeman been there for those 2 games, the Netherlands should have got more points than 3 points. The Poland game wasn't great, was it? But you could just have seen it being more of a bit more of a spectacle against Italy. It was such a no performance tonight from the Dutch. Such a shame. Let's have a look at the comments again here. If you're just joining us live, of course, just me tonight, but I want to hear all your comments. I'm going to put many live on screen. Would have been live for 5 minutes. Don't expect it to be too long tonight, but I can see all the comments flooding in, so I'll try and get as many on screen as I can. Musadin Dosen says, if I'm the coach, I would play Memphis Depay as a winger, Marlon as a centre forward, Van der Beek as subs with their own. You know what? I actually really agree with you there. I think for a long time now that Memphis Depay should probably be playing the wing, or perhaps as a 10 even, around the striker. And you saw when Luke de Jong came in as a substitute that he was obviously used for his height. He had a couple of chances, it caused a bit of danger, but it's not the way we Dutch want to play for 90 minutes, is it? And I don't think that de Jong is the answer to start games for the Netherlands, but can be an interesting option off the bench or starting games where the Dutch know they're going to have to try and create many chances and will need a few ideas to try and get some goals. But yeah, no, I agree with Masai and Dosen here that Memphis probably should play in the wing, and we're looking for a Daniel Marlin and Myron Boadu, if he's called up soon again, to play as that pacey striker, because Memphis isn't quick. He's nimble, and he's got very good nimble feet to beat defenders, turn them, but he's not fast. And I think that Daniel Marlin or Myron Boadu, a bit of pace was really missing tonight. Same for the wings as well, of course. We had Wijnaldum and Promes in the wings, just weren't creating that much, unfortunately. Let us know again in the comments. I'm trying to read out as many as I can, but let us know what do you think is missing from the Netherlands? You wouldn't have said that there was a lot wrong defensively tonight. I think that Joel Veltman perhaps had a few errors, particularly in the first half. But, you know, when we get De Ligt and De Vrij back fit, when we've got Daley Blind fit again, who can maybe play at left back, or when Wijndal breaks at left back, defence shouldn't be an issue. Centre-backs are the strongest position for the Dutch at the minute. I don't think Jasper Cillesen's had a poor game for the Dutch in quite a while. That's not the issue. The midfield, Frenkie de Jong's playing there, the best midfield in the world at the moment, in my opinion. Martin de Roon, decent option midfield. Was it the right choice playing tonight? Perhaps more so in the Poland game. But the issue is the front four, isn't it? The Netherlands need more goals. Koeman got the best out of that front line, but there's something missing, and that's so clear tonight. Let's bring up some more comments. Matain, good to have you again joining us tonight, Matain. Lodewijk is a clown, playing Genie out on the right wing. Veltman shouldn't be in the squad. Italy were great. And yeah, Hartberg was turned inside out a couple of times, wasn't he? Hartberg's not really great with his pace. Yeah, you're right. I think Hartberg perhaps wasn't the main culprit tonight. Nathan Ake missed the header for the goal that Italy scored, but I think that Virgil van Dijk maybe should have had the guy who scored the goal. And yeah, Joel Veltman made a couple of mistakes, didn't he? Wasn't quite getting close enough from the challenges. Headers weren't quite convincing again. Veltman, for me, is a good right back, but not a starting centre back. That goes to Brighton or the Netherlands national team, in my opinion. Mouse down in the comment here. Marlon could only manage 60 minutes now. That's right. Daniel Marlon at the minute isn't fit. My body's just come back from another injury. So Marlon and Boadu aren't fit to play these games that we've seen Poland and Italy. But you've got Memphis, who's been doing quite well up front for the Netherlands. Why didn't he perform tonight? A strange one. He just had one of those evenings. And you saw it a little bit against Poland where they were getting frustrated, and Memphis was too. But once a goal was scored, he was showing his confidence again. And then the front line was playing quite well as well. But tonight against Italy wasn't great, was it, for the whole game? Milo says, can someone explain to me why Veltman and Hartberg are still being selected? Well, Denzel Dumfries was going to be picked first choice right back, but I think that he had to miss the Poland game because of his wife giving birth, and perhaps then therefore wasn't going to be available for the whole 90 minutes tonight. I'm not sure Hartberg was taken off. Maybe that was it. Maybe Dumfries is first choice, and that Lodewijk saw that Hartberg was struggling at right back. But yeah, that was why Hartberg was selected. As for Veltman, yeah, De Ligt and De Vrij are injured. Ake has been playing at left back, so I guess there's little choice there but to play Veltman, especially on Persers, who's coming through at Ajax. Has had a great pre-season, but he hasn't played that many games for Ajax. You can see why Lodewijk has chosen experience. Again, he's been making a lot of conservative choices, hasn't he, against Poland and Italy. Can you blame him after he's had to take charge from Koeman? Or do you think he should maybe have taken a few more risks? Should we have seen Mohamed Ihatardin? Should we have seen, a Calvin Stengs, for example? Why are we always seeing the same old choices in the squad? Actually, before I go into the next comment here, it was interesting hearing that Kevin Strootman and Ryan Babel, the reason why they're being picked, and I was theorising with Mike, wasn't I, and some of these podcasts in the past at Football-Oranje.com, that we think that they're being picked because they're so good in the dressing room, so good with the players and the squad, and that's the reason why they're being picked so often. But it's time for a change, isn't it? You know, we weren't going to bring Babel on tonight. Strootman was never going to make a difference in midfield. So why are they being selected? We've got to move on from these selections, especially now Koeman has gone. I think the new manager's got to come in and take these players out and bring in the players that are going to come in and play and make a difference. Let's bring up some more comments. Master says, yeah, he agrees with me. Thank you. Van der Beek was all right. Yeah, he was. Frankie and Ake were all right also. Frankie's always a good performer for Netherlands. I think we're noticing that now. He's either playing really well or he's at least a 6.5, 7 out of 10 every time he plays for the Dutch. The rest, yeah, well, I don't think they were very visible at all, the rest of the players on the pitch tonight. If they were visible, maybe for the wrong reasons, like Memphis, unfortunately. Matthias says, this loss might actually be a blessing in disguise. With the players and the media back to us, showing that we have real weaknesses that have to be addressed too, right? And the Euros is not that far away either. You can really count down the months again to the Euros has now been put back on. So 9 months from now, we've got to have a team ready. Luckily, as I say, there's 5 games still in 2020 to really figure out with a new manager how this system's going to work. Caleb, thanks for the comment. What did you think of Frankie de Jong's performance? Again, just mention that part, that I think he's always a good performer, 6.5, 7 out of 10. And he's always given his best. He's always trying his hardest. But you saw his frustration boil over in the Poland match when he talked to the referee far too often, got a yellow card. Tonight, didn't think that he had too much creativity about him. Unfortunately, didn't see too many tricks and flicks and really getting the ball forward. There were a couple of flashes, but Italy really surrounded him very quickly. Remember the one particular 1-2 on the edge of the box where he tries to play it with Memphis, I think. Then when he tries to get the ball back, about 3 Italy players swarmed around him and won the ball back. Maybe Italy just perform their tactics well tonight. We all know Mancini and the Italians are very good with their tactics. Do they figure out that Frankie de Jong is that heartbeat in midfield? And maybe if they can quell him, then they've won the match. They won 1-0. That's a perfect Italian performance, isn't it? Rahi, comment here. Who do you think will get as a new manager? If you'd like to hear our thoughts on that, Rahi, I do recommend listening to the end of our last match reaction. The last video we put on YouTube, it was myself and Mike. We're talking about who we think should be the next Netherlands manager. Henk Carter's probably the choice at the moment. We don't want Frank de Boer, and I personally would quite like Louis van Gaal. Out of the options have been mentioned, a lot of Dutch coaches have been mentioned. I haven't noticed many foreign names yet, which is interesting. They've obviously got to come in and understand the squad really quickly before the Euro, so you don't want it to really be a very risky appointment. You wouldn't say Van Gaal is a safe pair of hands, but I would choose him just because he has that pizzazz, doesn't he? He can come in and he can really turn that squad around to get them firing again, I'm sure. Molo says that the refereeing, in my opinion, was an absolute shame. Northwest Wind. Van Gaal said he's open to coaching again. Do we want Van Gaal again? I've given my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think about Van Gaal. I'll try and get to the bottom of these comments by the time I end the stream. I didn't think I'll be talking for this long, but thank you so much for all your comments. And if you haven't dropped us one yet, leave us one on the YouTube live stream right now, and I'll see if I can read it out. But yeah, Van Gaal, I'd be open to it. I think he's obviously got his ego about him, hasn't he? But I think that he's going to get some of the best out of these players again. Contentious one was whether he'd get on with Memphis Depay again if he was managing the squad. He'd have to make amends there, I think, and really try and have the trust of Memphis playing up top. Daidara, thanks again for your comment. Always good to have you commenting. Game versus Poland should have been a test, a trial, but Lodewijk was such a coward. Agree, he didn't really do many positive choices, did he? He didn't try and coach anything, so he was more afraid against a stronger Italy. Yeah, it was a bit more conservative again tonight, wasn't it, with Wijnaldum out on the wing. It's good to see Van der Beek playing, but not with Wijnaldum as well. You want to see some brave choices. A shame we just couldn't see, Mohair Tardan thrown at the end. Against Poland or Italy, we need to get him his first cap, don't we, to tie him down to the Netherlands. I can only imagine that he's really made his claim with the coaching staff that he wants to play for the Netherlands. No goal threat tonight, agree. Need a playmaker. Mo should have come on. Agreed, Dave. Frustrating that Koeman left. He was really building nice things with us. He had never had a chance to play a major tournament. Agree, we really would have liked to see him play at the Euros. A shame that he can't handle the Barcelona and Netherlands job at the same time. We don't really see too much of that anymore, do we? Where managers take on the international job and a club job. Not hating on him, but just feel it missed out. Yeah. Koeman, though, you can you can see his point of view why he left the Netherlands to Barcelona. He's had this heart attack, hasn't he? He's obviously feared for his life, and he's seen this opportunity of a lifetime present in front of him. For the second or third time in his managerial career, he can manage Barcelona. You can't blame him for taking that job. Marlon is fantastic, but come on, he isn't fully back yet at all. No, Marlon isn't back fully fit yet, but he probably is the answer up front, isn't he, in future? If he can get a few goals and games in for PSV before October, I'm sure he'll be starting the game up top. Nice, Nathan Alanya. A coach is missing. Agreed. Is that the difference? Like, maybe that was it. The fact that they're just missing a manager, someone who can really take charge and lead this squad. We don't want the players in charge at the moment because they're not managers. They're not the ones thinking all the tactics. They can talk a good game and get some motivation to the players themselves, but they need coaching too. Moment of truth. Serious lack of pace tonight. Really think that we have no option other than to monitor Robin this season. Interesting comment. Moment of truth. Promise and Bergwijn are constantly below average. Be interesting if Robin has a decent season for Groningen, stays fit, scores some goals. Is he really an option again for the Netherlands? Is a realistic one? Banking on Marlon to give us the extra offensive presence that we need. Yeah, I think we're going to have to look at a striker that plays more of an advanced forward. Someone who's not coming as deep as Memphis and trying to do everything. Marlon won't do that. Marlon won't be the one who's trying to do everything in the striker's role, you know? Moment of truth says, Daron has never impressed. We really have to push for Patrick Van Aanholt to be picked. He'll provide the space down the flank. Lacking significantly there. I think that Owen Wijndal is the option at left back just because he's young and he's going to be the option in the future. I think if you're starting Patrick Van Aanholt now, he's quite late in his career and he'll always be a backup option. Wijndal has to come in for me and be that first choice left back. Either him or Blint. Probably Blint though for the Euros because he's so sound defensively. He has picked up his game. I know he has critics, Blint, but for me, he has improved a lot at left back under Koeman. Another comment here. Dumfries was again awful. Counted 6 times they had a chance to put a decent ball in and 0 times picked a teammate out. Dardara, you have the best player in the Eredivisie. He doesn't have to play 1 minute or 2 games. Is that Mohamed Tardy on about the Dardara? I wouldn't call him the best player in the Eredivisie just as yet. But he's certainly probably the one with the biggest potential. And it would have been good to have had him give him his first cap, wouldn't it? Michael, we share the same name. It's sad we don't have much going forward. Agreed. There's not a lot going forward at the moment, is there? But in the past, we've seen the Dutch beat France 3-0, beating Germany 4-2. The goals are there. I think we just need to find, again, the right system. Maybe adapt it slightly because even though Koeman did move from a 5-3-2 to the 4-3-3 that we have now and it stayed there, perhaps it needs to change again, not the formation, but the style of play, because teams know what to expect now. They know that if they sit back, the Netherlands can't counter. And again, tonight, it ended up with us bringing Luuk de Jong on to play up top because the pacey counter-attacking way that is normally used wasn't working. Italy weren't sat everyone behind the ball, but they were very wary of the counter-attack and they were marking Frenkie de Jong out of the game, really closing him down very quickly. Martin Deloney is giving an interview right now. Admittedly, I'm not watching it. He admits it was difficult for the midfield to find a solution. He thinks they can really mature in this area. This is a good wake-up call. Yeah, and de Jong needs that support in midfield, doesn't he? It would have been good to see Van der Beek play a little bit deeper and then having the two wingers push on, because they were playing a bit more of a 4-4-1-1 tonight with Van der Beek almost playing as a second striker. Van der Beek's better when he can play as an 8 or a 10, especially in games like this. If he's playing as a 10, we saw it in the Champions League with Ajax, where if the wingers can push on a bit more, then you might have that opportunity to quickly pass to the front three and they can create opportunities. But if the wingers are so deep, then can't push out. Clays, thanks for your comment. I'm sick of us playing Wijnaldum. Sorry, but he's not good enough. Wasn't good enough midfield, which is his main position, so why would he be good enough as a right winger? Clueless changes. Thanks, Clay, for your comment. And yeah, I don't think Wijnaldum was the best option at all on the right wing tonight. What's your deal lineup when we're playing Euro 2020? Well, Northwest Wind, I think we'll do some more on that in Football-Oranje in future. So please do, if you're new tonight, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow our website for all these updates that we're going to be giving you as we head towards the Euros. We'll be giving you plenty more content like this on our channel about who's going to be in the squad and in the first 11 for Euro 2020. What do you guys think? Is there any players you'd like to see play as a starting 11 for the Netherlands? For example, would you be playing Daniel Marlon, assuming he's had a good season? Dave, thanks for your comment. Cope Miners in for Derone, possible option there. However, sometimes we can be sceptical about how we choose to play two more defensive-minded midfielders against weaker opposition. Do we really want to see Derone and Frank de Jong? We're moaning about that. Do we want to see Cope Miners and de Jong? What I would argue, though, in the case of Cope Miners, do really like him as a player, is that I think he offers more attacking, even though he is generally a more deeper midfielder. I think that him next to de Jong could be interesting because he can pick up balls from deep. It might then allow de Jong to play a bit more between the lines as an 8, come a bit further forward. Clay says this manager's a drunk Emery at his best. Milo, you're right. Thank you. Should be selecting players that don't bring anything to the squad. Babel, Strootman, go for youth. Agreed. There's so many young talents at the minute in the 21s. Strootman, Babel, Veltman, Luke de Jong, Promes, Derone, Bergwijn, Dumfries. All these players have had so many chances to impress, yet nothing. Time to drop and make changes. Luke, thanks for your comment. Are Promes and Wijnaldum the answer at top? For me, I think Promes has got a future on the left wing. I really like him. I think he's a great player. Can play sometimes with his heart on his sleeve. He just really goes for it. But the system isn't quite working a minute, is it, with Promes? So something has to change there. Wijnaldum, not the answer on the right wing. And for me, a poor choice tonight to play him. Well, when should we expect the new coach? I really, really think that the new coach will be in place before the squad is selected for the October Nations League games. It has to be. That is a perfect opportunity to lay down his marker and pick the squad that he wants. Maybe put some new names in, get the players he doesn't want, and yeah, go for those first few games in October and see what they're about, so they can really watch them close. I can't see them going on with the interim manager past October. That would be a ridiculous amount of time. Surely a replacement must be found now, so that players have that consistency going into the Euros. And no, they're not answering on top. I imagine that's probably back to an earlier comment we had. Agreement with the truth, except for Luke de Jong is a proper plan B. Yeah, Luke de Jong should stay in the squad, in my opinion. I guarantee Robin will give us far more than Promes and Bergwijn. To finish on the right note, yeah, we're coming to the end of our live show. So if you want to put a comment in, now is your last chance, I think. To finish on the right note, now let's hope this loss will help for changes. Yeah, it has to spark something, doesn't it? On a slightly unrelated note, let's bring back the dark blue away jersey from 2014. That jersey was so dope. I really like the new Netherlands home and away shirts, the orange and black. Don't get me wrong, I love a bit of black, red, orange, favourite colours. So black and orange, love that away kit so much that's come out now. Ben says we can easily play like Italy with the quality we have. Aggressive, one-touch, front foot football. But this coach adapts to Italy and turned us into cowards with no answers. No answers up top with constant overloads. I believe that meant it. You meant to say, Ben. We can easily play like Italy. Oh, that's the same comment. Thank you for correcting your comment there, Ben. Yeah, I think that there could be more aggression. There could be a bit more pace going on that front line. We've seen it against France. That almighty win that night. I think we remember that quite fondly of how well the Dutch front line played. Felt like there's a holiday mentality in the front line. You know what? I wonder if that's not just to do with the manager, but also because of the crowd. Has that boosted Italy tonight? The fact they could just get on with their business and win 1-0, and did it impact the Dutch players more? Are we going to see more of that in the Eredivisie if games aren't going to have fans? They should have fans, by the way, the Eredivisie games. But if there are fans not in the grounds for Netherlands, the Eredivisie games, is that really going to impact the Dutch players more? Was that the case tonight? Luke, agree with me with the truth. I would be surprised if Robin gave more up top. We can play more high and attacking football. Just need proper tactics and lineups. Thanks for your subscription, Northwest Wind. Three centre backs. Back to that again. So we discussed that on the last live video where De Vrij, Van Dijk, and De Ligt. So we've seen it before with Van Harding with a 5 at the back, 3 centre backs. Is that something we really want to go back to? It's the strongest area of the team, centre backs, but does it make the Netherlands then too defensive to beat lesser teams? Or should they be more flexible again and play 5 at the back when it's necessary? Maybe like tonight, and only have De Jong or De Roon, not both. And then play 4 at the back when it's a lesser opponent, let's say. Anyone else going to the Euros next season? Can we arrange a Football-Oranje meetup? Not sure we get tickets at the moment. There's too much up in the air at the moment about all these games. But we'll be looking to cover as much as we can on football-oranje.com, more than we usually do for those Euros. So do stay tuned for all of that. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, let us know. Get in contact with Moments of Truth if you're going to do the Euro games, and let's see if we can get to your meetups. That'd be awesome. And Katie said two. So league. Yeah, the Nations League is a bit boring. It's a semi-friendly. It's not a big deal, is it? The Nations League, but the Netherlands got to the final last season, and how good of an experience was that for the players to get to the final? It didn't really perform that well on the night against Portugal, but Koeman got into the final, and that shows such good promise going into the Euros. They've got more experience under their belts. This squad now. I love the Nations League for the reason that it replaces those friendlies and just give it a bit more emphasis, so you feel like you're playing something. Looks like we've already got a Football-Oranje.com meetup. Curious to see what Van Gaal will do with the squad. Dydara, yeah. So the under-21s, they thrashed Belarus the other day, and it was great to see some of the young talents playing it. Most of them play for RZ, but yeah, again, those young players should be in the Netherlands senior national team now, because they are good. They are so capable. A shame that they're not being called up just yet, but yes, they're playing these 21s because they've got something to play for at the moment. The more I think about it, the more Van Gaal could be the answer. Clays, Dynamite is a very good shout. His name is I've been shouting for a long time. I'm happy to see more and more people recognise his quality and want him in the squad. And I think that's the last of our live comments. I've gone through so many there. Thank you for joining me on this live output here that we've had. Again, if you want to get involved with these in future, we're doing lots more of these in October games. Keep your eye on our YouTube channel, on our website, because we're doing lots of podcasts in the near future. Lots more content to come up that we're looking forward to. Again, if you haven't already and you are interested in buying one, and if you are interested in supporting Football-Oranje, if you can now purchase Football-Oranje wristbands. They have Euro 2020 written on them, and the tournament is still being called Euro 2020, so they're still valid wristbands. I've been delivering some more recently from all around the globe. It's interesting amount of fans we've got from the United States, have to say, people ordering from there. So thank you very much for those if you have ordered one already. And yeah, I've just spoken for nearly half an hour flat. My throat's going sore, but thank you so much for joining me live, or if you're watching this back in a few days' time, in a week's time, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. So thank you very much. I can see your last few comments on here. I'll just read them out. The front four playing like a bunch of friends having fun, making lazy moves that I think of the consequences. Very, very bad first touches, no combinations, not sharp enough. Thank you for your comments, Idara. And to thank you very much for all the comments, guys. Good evening to you too. And yeah, no, thank you for all of you guys that are coming in. So do stay tuned, do stick around. We'll do more of these in future. And if you haven't checked out some of my recent videos, we've been doing some comments about the national team, whether we would be picking them, what kind of tier they are, kind of players. In fact, you want to know what kind of squad we're looking at for the Euros next summer, do go and check that video out. Do check out our Eredivisie previews. We've got a full podcast out. We've got a top 4 preview out at the moment. So lots more you can be checking on our website and on our YouTube channel. I think it's time for me to go. Good evening all, and speak to you all soon.